What up, sports fans? Curious Formula here with a new video. Why do they love Trump? But first, before we get into it, make sure you subscribe down below, that you ring the bell for all notifications, and that you like this video. It's very important for our algorithm, and we want to make sure that we get as many people to watch and to view and to hopefully engage about the topic. So why do they love Trump? Really simply, it's because Donald Trump is a repositor for a whole host of disaffected Americans from all walks of life who all find in him a champion for all of their particular grievances. There are some that support him for just the shock value of offending people, like those folks that wear offensive t-shirts or, eat meat in front of vegans.
It feels fucking good, you and your small dick and your pussy way of killing animals, and it feels good for the vegans. You have all the blood on your face and all the blood on your hands.
The rest fall into 5 major categories. Yes, I love the number 5. The first sort of category is whites that fear genetic annihilation or fear of a black planet. Now, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing advanced the idea of genetic annihilation that subconsciously there were many white Americans who had a subconscious genetic fear of annihilation because the only people who can make a white baby in the future are 2 white people. A white person, genetically, if you believe in the concept of race, if a white person has a baby with a black person, that baby is considered black. If a white woman has a baby with a Latino person, that baby is considered Latino. And so she had a theory that subconsciously, many white Americans feel genetic annihilation. Some of this is borne out in terms of public statements people have made who supported Trump, but I like to point to an example of a guy who was interviewed in the Obama documentary, Right American Feels Wrong, documentary about the Obama campaign in 2008 and white America's vision of him. Just take a listen to this guy, his opinion, because I think he represents exactly the kind of category that I'm talking about.
You guys ready for a black president?
No.
What do you think?
Personally, myself, I'm not ready for it. Because I'm from the old school. I was brought up in a different time, different era.
The second type of person that follows and loves Donald Trump are people that fear a future of automation and needing new job skills. That sort of economic and social insecurity. There's a whole group of people who really fear that the jobs that they have right now, whether it be working in fast food services or a number of other sort of very dignified and necessary blue-collar jobs, are going to lose those jobs to automation, robots doing their jobs. Or they fear that the fields that they worked in all their lives, like coal mining and some of the other fossil fuel industries, are going to be replaced by green jobs. And they're going to have to either learn new green job skills or again be replaced. There's those people who also feel that socially in America, those people are taking over. So let's also go back to see the same guy from the Obama documentary talking about this disposition.
Now, you can't fly the Confederate flag no more because it's offensive to the black people in this country. You can't do something no more and somebody don't get offended by it because you can't say nothing no more. Everybody gets offended by it, what's up with all that?
Let's go back to the Obama documentary, to the same guy, so he can talk about the displacement that he feels is happening in this country.
Are you disappointed in America right now?
Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm real disappointed in it. Used to be one time it was top dog, now we're nothing before. Illegal immigrants coming here and they get all the rights, we got nothing. Try asking the government for help. They're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. But let a foreigner come in this country. It all comes down to it. They all get it. One big gigantic ripoff. People think shit's going to change this country, not going to change. Nothing. Used to be a hell of a good country here at one time. I just don't know what the hell happened.
Shut up!
The third group of people who love Donald Trump are hurt people. There's a saying that says, hurt people want to hurt other people. There's a mother of a victim of a horrific shooting that happened in my ward while I was a city councilman in the West Ward city of Newark at Mount Vernon School.
Opening arguments Tuesday in the trial of Rodolfo Godinez, He's the first of 6 defendants to go on trial for the deadly attack on 4 friends on a schoolyard playground 3 summers ago. 3 of the victims died after they were shot in the back of the head. The 4th victim, a young woman, survived and is expected to testify. Prosecutors say she was shot, stabbed, and sexually assaulted. They say the victims were simply doing what young people do in a place they thought would be safe.
Many of you all will remember the tragedy that happened when 3 young people were murdered as an initiation rite by a number of young people who were trying to join a Latino-affiliated gang called MS-13. Unfortunately, a parent of one of these victims really got caught up in the Trump wave about the wall and keeping immigrants out because that they were all criminals and drug dealers and murderers. And the tragedy in her life played in on her supporting Trump publicly with an endorsement and really being involved in his campaign because of his immigration stand. I also have another friend, and this is all anecdotal stories, who had been spurned by the local Democratic Party machine in New Jersey and just couldn't get a foothold politically in life there, as a number of us couldn't, who fought what we call the machine politicians in that particular state. And he wanted revenge against the system. And so Donald Trump provided for him a reservoir, a repository for his hurt feelings as well. Hurt people want to see other people hurt, particularly those who may have victimized them personally or their families, and they are fertile ground to be identified and supportive of Donald Trump. The 4th type of person that loves Donald Trump are just Republicans that just want to win and advance their central issue. Listen, and another anecdotal story, I have a good reverend who I'm very good friends with who was a big Trump supporter, I think before January 6th insurrection, but he was with him because Donald Trump promised to get rid of Roe versus Wade. And if you are an evangelical Christian or someone who thinks of abortion as a moral affront to God and to your faith, getting rid of it by any means necessary is a prominent priority of you politically, socially, economically in many instances. And so when a president pledges to do that, there are some who actually, in the Republican Party, that supported that because of that particular promise that he made. There are other Republicans who just want to win at any cost. You know, politics is a blood-driven sport and winning is important. And so there were a number of Republicans, Senator Lindsey Graham being one of them, who said, like, over my dead body would I support Donald Trump.
If you believe Donald Trump is being treated poorly and wrongly, stand up and help the man. Pray for our country. Pray for him. Go to DonaldJTrump.com and give money so he can defend themselves.
But when it became apparent that he was not only going to win the nomination, but had a very good chance of winning the presidency, the needs of his agenda, his priorities, with a president in office who would support that, trumped any problems he had with him personally, or the type of man that he is, or his history, or his character. And there are a number of Republicans who still are with that. Republicans win in some very tight races because of the enthusiasm of the Make America Great Again base, the MAGA base that is Donald Trump. And without him and his supporters, there are many places Republicans would lose, and so they need him in order to win. The last very important one are that there's some very mentally disturbed people that believe Trump, for whatever, makes him a touchstone for them. Some of you may follow, you look at Trump rallies, there are organizations and groups of people who support him that are questionable at best. One of those folks are the Blacks for Trump. And if you look at their website, they are a very odd mixture of Hebrew Israelites and African Americans who have some very odd viewpoints about history, about religion, and about who they think Trump is in a sort of a messianic kind of odd way. And there's also this video of women saying something about 2 armies.
That's 2 militaries. There's two militaries.
There's a good and a bad.
So there's 2 militaries. Donald Trump's in charge of the good one.
Yes.
Biden's in charge of the bad military?
That's exactly right.
And then, of course, we all remember Silk and her sidekick, who kind of were grifting on this whole Trump thing and making pretty good money as a result of that.
That's right. And then now somebody want to bring up politics.
They want to
So, you got to come back with this. He's your president. He's your president. I don't give a darn if they start talking about what happened last week, what he tweeted yesterday. You come back with...
The only thing that is like lacking on this, they need to invite me with them.
He's your president. He's your president.
Tell me what you think. I want to hear what your views are. And if you are a person who supports Trump who in one of those 5 categories, tell me which category you identify with. Or if you are a Trump supporter who doesn't identify with any of those 5, I want to hear from you too. Let's have an honest discussion. Remember to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell for notifications. And as always, here's a quote from our good friend George Orwell. At a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. We need more revolutionaries and more truth tellers. Until next time, stay curious.